Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we've got this Murray branded snowblower. It is a 7.5 probably foot-pounds, not likely horsepower. Anyways, yeah, 7.5 gross torque, 24-inch cutting path, and 163 cc Briggs & Stratton engine. Won't start. Got a couple of issues. Let's go over it real quick. Maybe we can make a sub 20-minute video on this one. Maybe. We'll see what happens. Where to begin? Well, there's a few things. Won't start. Okay, usually snowblowers won't start because they got last year's fuel in them. So I did check that, and it's oldie goldie. It's not fresh. There's some sweating around the carb bowl. It's been overflowed. It smells old. It's oily. It's not even like gasoline. But there's a few things to just eyeball first. I was going to check the oil level, but as soon as I started to unscrew it, started pouring out, and it smelled like gas. So, unfortunately, this engine does not have a fuel shutoff switch, and there's no easy place to put one. I'm sure I can put one on it, but there's no easy place to get one on there. So I can't see the fuel line. I mean, I maybe could take, as I take these covers off, which we're going to get into, there's some of those are fuel valves that are surface mounted. Honda GCV 160s, 190s, the pull, like the push mower engines, those Hondas have a surface mounted valve, so you can actually screw them onto something, but it's not what I have. Anyways, so the oil's got gas in it, way over full. It's got old gas in it, which is probably why it doesn't run. And I did notice out there looking at it that the pull cord is, well, it's seen better days, so we're gonna have to replace that as well. So we have to get it underneath here anyways. Looks like, well, we might be able to sneak it out from under these plastic covers, but I don't think so. We're gonna get into there anyways. So here's what I've noticed. It's a Murray branded, like I said. It says Murray.com, Briggs & Stratton Power Products, assembled in USA. So from what I've seen so far, the chassis, all of these chassis pieces are all SAE fasteners, bolts, nuts. Everything on the engine is metric, and we know what the land of metric is. It's an overseas engine on a USA, I would imagine, built chassis. So it is what it is. They're okay engines. They're okay. I mean, they're not a Tecumseh Snow King, right, Mr. Pender? But anyways, let's get into this thing here. Let's start taking some stuff off. First thing I want to do is I'm going to loosen this little drain here. I want to see what comes out of that fuel bowl. Okay, well, the drain's loose. Well, nothing's coming out yet. Well, kinda. It kinda smells like gas. Is that the drain or is that the bowl nut? No, that's the drain. Nothing's really draining. Now the float might be stuck up. See if we can get a little persuasion maybe. Some wrapping on it sometimes fixes that up. Oh, she's dripping now. A little bit. Basically I want to see if there's water in it. Doesn't look like it so far. It's just dripping yellow gas. But it is just dripping, so I think maybe that needle's a little sticky. Well, it's starting to drip a little faster. Well, we know it's not good, so let's just tighten that up. It's all going to come off anyways, but I want to be able to control what I'm doing, so I'm going to wait until I've got the plastics off and I can get to the carburetor a little better. So I'm sure there was dirt on my fingers. It's just old gas in there. Not seeing anything too crazy. It's just old gas. It's yellow. I didn't see any water in there. There's dirt from my fingers, like I said, but it's nothing we can't deal with. We're just going to snug that up so it doesn't leak fuel everywhere. Now, normally what I like to do is, once I get things running, I'll change the oil on them after they're warm and let everything circulate, and it'll pull all the debris and stuff out of the bottom of the sump. But I'm not going to have that luxury in this case. So I'm going to drain the oil out, and then we'll just fill it with fresh before we start it. I don't want all the oil and crap all over the tire, so I'm going to do a quick bolt removal here. This doesn't have clips in it. It's actually just it's an SAE bolt. It's a 1/4 inch bolt. I'm just going to whip that out and slide the wheel off. I want to get in there, and usually I grease those axles anyway so they don't seize up on there. You want to be able to remove your wheels if you have to, right? Let's get that bolt out of there. Come on. Okay, nuts off. Let's get the bolt out of there. Might have had grease on it. Now, this is a 2012 model. I saw the information on the engine tag. So see there, there's rust on there. I want to be able to clean that off and get some anti-seize on there. But what's nice now is the oil that we're going to drain out of that thing is not going to be all over the wheel. Let's get our drain pan ready. It's a metric engine, so it'll be a 10 millimeter. And of course, the entire drain tube loosened. 15? Yeah, that'll do. Oh. Why is the drain plug tighter than the tube? I don't know. Some kind of disaster comes out of there. Gonna be a lot. Gonna be thin. It's pretty thin, but it's also stone cold. It was sitting outside. Let's see if I can open that drain plug just a hair to let it vent. Well, it's not coming out very fast. It does smell like gas, so. Oh, it's still coming out of the drain plug, so it's full. Way over full. Well, is what it is. Doesn't look like it's been changed either. Well, I'm not going to bore you guys with this. I just got to hold this pan here because it'll be everywhere if I don't. And we'll come back when the oil's out. All right, so I got the oil changed out. Doesn't take much to refill it. Got some 10W30 in there, about a half quart, maybe just over a half quart-ish, somewhere around there. We still got to get the old fuel out of there because we know it's poopy. I'll end up siphoning that out. But let's get these shields and covers off. 10. Oh, there's a bunch of 8 millimeters around the stuff. One there. One there. One there. The different lengths, pay attention to where you get them out of. Now there's one up the front that of course I can't get to it. Let's get these 10s off of here. That goes right in the carburetor. I think this one might have a little screen in behind it. So that piece comes off. Oh, we might not have to take the other side off. Nope. Also, interesting to note, no electric start on this one. There is a knockout in the cover here, and provisions for one if it was so equipped, but there is no electric start on this one. Let's slide that out. Oh, that comes out of there nice. Oh, look at that, a screen. Who'd have thought? Not a filter. You don't put air filters on a snowblower. They plug up solid, like immediately. They get wet and then they don't flow. Even if I wanted to put a fuel tap in here, there's no room. So I might do what I've done in the past. I'm going to pinch the hose off. I'll pull the hose off the carburetor. I'll put a little 1/4 inch double end barb. I'll run a hose down and just let it gravitate, drop out of there. We're going to pull the bowl off and just have a peek in there and see what's going on. I did notice a little debris in the tank. So let me get those tools. I get the hose pincher offers, pair of pliers, barb, hose, bottle, and we'll start draining her. All right, so I got the tank drained out. it's just, oh, and the carb. Got that completely drained with a, you can get the drain easy there. So it's just more of the same. It's just some old gas. I'm sure that's last year's ethanol. Oh, likely ethanol. I don't know. There was no water in it anyways. Let's pull the bowl off. Make sure that drain is tight. Yep. Pull the bowl. Let's have a peek. See if there's any junk in there. Oh, there's more junk coming out. Hopefully the gasket is good, because I don't know if I have one for these. So there's no jet in the bottom. It's just a bolt. The jet will be in the carburetor itself. There's some rubble in there. It's not terrible, but not good either. That's pretty dirty, but that's where it catches it anyways. That's where it's supposed to be, is in the bowl. Give her a wipe. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a little mirror here and my little pocket flashlight. I'm gonna into the bottom of the jet there and see if I can see any junk. I don't see any junk. But I will also, I'm gonna pull that jet out. For what it takes, I was just gonna eyeball the gasket too. The gasket looks in fine shape. We'll get the float out of there real quick. Push pin, pull the pin, drop the float and the needle out. Let's eyeball the needle, because that was our issue. The fuel bypassed the needle, sitting over the summer. It's a rubber needle, so it'll be a metal seat. The needle looks in fine shape. I'm going to use the same mirror and the same light, and I'm going to look up into that fuel inlet to see if it looks corroded. No, it's spotless, like brand new. All right, let's get that jet out of there. Nice screwdriver bit, fit in there nice and tight. Without wrecking stuff. Yeah. We'll give that a shot. See if I can use this little thumb ratchet, palm ratchet, I think they used to call them. Find the slot, there we go. Out she comes. Nice. That's a little easier than trying to wield a quarter drive ratchet around in there. Are you gonna fall out, or are you gonna argue with me, or what are you doing here? Oh, there it is on the floor. Hold it up to something white. You know what? There's a little piece of crud in there. Guitar string. That's better. Well, that also means there might be some debris in the emulsion tube. Let's get that pulled off here. Let's get these two nuts off. That'll let us get the screen off, which will let us open the choke, which will let us reach in there with a small screwdriver and pop the emulsion tube out the bottom. Well, it'll let it start anyways. 90-degree pick. See if we can get it to convince it to go all the way out. Get down there. Well, 3 weeks later. Well, the carb's loose now. There we go. Got her. Emulsion tube. Survey says. Oh. Okay. Camera, behave, and just zoom. Tiny little holes. One of them is plugged. It's the tiniest of the tiny, so I use a tiny guitar string. Push it through, joink. Here we go. Push that one through. Yep, looks good. Carb spray, just to make sure it's good. So we're gonna shoot the jet down in there. jet of carb spray and see if it comes flying out of all the orifices. Oh yeah. It's like the fountain at the Vegas casinos. That's a thing of beauty right there. Where'd my jet go? There it is. She's clear. Orifice tube goes back in. Jet goes in behind it. Clean screwdriver tip. Getting there, almost, perhaps, pretty close. Their fancy palm wrench. Tight but not tight. Tight but not stupid. Let me just zoom you in there for a sec. Something else I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull that pilot out. Okay, hopefully don't get seasick here. All right, I'm gonna grab a pointing device. So, do you need extra light? Extra light? Well, let's get this tube out of the way first, I'll show you. This is our primer hose. Get off of there. Okay, so this is your idle speed screw. Underneath there, this black piece here, that is a pilot. It's a microscopic little hole in that thing, and they usually plug up. So what I normally do is I count how many turns this takes to go in, and then I run it all the way out. That way you can pop that pilot out of there. So that's what exactly what I do, is exactly what I said. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. 5 it is. Run it all the way out, because the head of this thing, it prevents that pilot little orifice from coming out. Used to be a jet, used to be able to take them out and change them and adjust them and everything, but that's no longer. Nothing's adjustable anymore. So there's a little piece coming directly out of the carburetor and directly onto the floor. Why is everything hitting the floor tonight? Okay, so there's, whoa, you're still zoomed in. See that major hole? That's not the one we need to worry about. It's that guy. Sometimes my smallest guitar string does not fit in there. Wow, that zoomed actually really nice that time. First for everything. Okay, I'll back way over here. There, now you can see what I'm doing. Little wire. Oh, it fell right in. Nice. Is there any junk in the end of it? There is. So that would cause a surging, especially an idle. This thing doesn't have an idle, it just has a go. It's either a go or a stop. There is no idle on this one, but at wide open throttle, it uses all of the orifices, all the holes in the carburetor to make the thing run right. So that's nice and clear. Pop that back in its little home there. Oh man, it's late. How many was it? 5? 4? 5? 5. Run her home, all the way home. Snug. I can see the mastercraft of my screwdriver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is close enough because it doesn't idle. Get our little primer hoosing back on there. Where's the fuel bowl? There it is. Fuel bowl. Nope. Ha! Who yelled? Who said, wait, you forgot the stupid float? Somebody said it. Float. Float pin. So, I want to test that float. I want to test that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a hose on the fuel inlet. Hopefully this one fits. Get on there. Yeah, it fits. So now I can blow in the hose. Let me back out a little bit. There you go. So, should pass air. It does. When I lift the float and blow, it should stop. Ooh, getting woozy. Okay, there we go. We should be good. So after draining the fuel out of the tank, I stuffed a rag down in there, slopped her around a little bit to soak up any remaining fuel particles. And then I blew my blowgun in there with the air compressor to dry it all out. And at the same time, any debris that's in there will also dry up on the bottom of the fuel tank and it'll blow right out the fuel cap. Be careful, do not pressurize the gas tank. Do not do it with the line hooked up to the carburetor. Do not do it with any of that stuff on there because you can cause problems. A couple little air holes here. That's good. That's good. There we go. We got carb clean all over my flashlight. Probably not good for it. It's gonna make that rubber sticky now. Won't want to hold that in my mouth for a while. Anyway, now we can put the fuel bowl on. Fuel bowl nut. Zipper on home. We're almost ready to run it. You know what? I better check. Where's the plastic? There it is. There's a spot under here for that drain. Let's just make sure it's in the right spot. See, there's a notch here. That's where you can get to the drain. We have to align the fuel bowl so the slots line up with the drain. Where's the bolts now? Yes, I know the screen isn't on yet. I'm just trying to get the bowl lined up. Almost there. It's gonna turn just a little bit. Nope, a little more. Yeah, baby. So that's where the bowl needs to be tightened down. Right there. Fits in the slot. So what we should do, very first thing, that's snug. That's snug. Put some gasoline in it. This is non-ethanol fuel, already treated with seafoam. And it's fresh. Happens to be 91 octane, not because the octane matters, but because it's non-ethanol. So we're gonna let that sit. We're gonna let the bowl fill up. Verify it doesn't leak. Hope for the best there. And while that's doing that, let's pull the recoil starter off. Just a few bolts. I know we gotta change cord anyways because it's a mess. No drippy yet. Where's the bolts? One here. One here. One here. Oh, falling off. That's not right. Boy, that's nice and long though. Jeez. What do I got? 6 feet on there? 6. Almost 7 feet. Yep. So let's put 6.5 feet on there because that's what was in it. We'll zip that back on. Yes, that's what we'll do. Okay, give me a sec. I'm gonna grab the cord out of the storage area and bring it back. We'll fire that recoil together. Okay, this is about the easiest you're ever gonna see this thing done. Because it was all together and it was actually functioning fine, like it would pull out and recoil perfectly fine. I'm just gonna replace the exact length of the cord. So what I've done is I pulled the cord all the way out and I've just locked it together here with vice grips. So I should be able to just grab that old cord, pick it out of there. We'll just cut that off because it's easier. Cut that mess out of there. Get over there. There we go. Just yoink it right out of there. Still need the D handle off it, but that's fine. So I've cut these nice and flush and then melted them with a lighter and just rolled the ends over so it doesn't want to fray on us. Reach back in there. Let's try this way. 2 loops and a knot. It's nice to have great big knots in there. You know it's not going to fly apart. However, there's a risk that it won't fit into the recoil properly. Pre-tighten it. There we go. Yup, she's home. That'll be just fine. Just fine. The other side of this. Pick this out of here. I don't know. Don't get your fingers if you're using something sharp to get that out of there. There's the other end of the knot. Oh yeah. Because it's frayed, it won't come through. Let's frayed knot. There's our rubbish cord out of there. New cord through the hole. Lots of room in there. 1 loop, 2 loops. Bring the tail through everything, through both loops. Makes a nice big knot that tightens on itself and won't loosen. We'll just pre-tighten that. There we are. Yoink. Just tuck its tail back in there. Where's the little? There it is. Hold the rope. Don't let it go shooting back in there. Release whatever lock you. Sometimes you can use a clothespin or whatever. Those vice grips seem to do okay. Look at that. Beautiful, super straightforward, simple 5-minute repair. Done. Let's get it back on the machine. I know because of the angle that you guys are on, you can't see much of this, but it's literally just 3 bolts. Kind of stick it on there and stick 3 bolts back in. Simple as that. No drips from the carburetor yet. Well, I'm not that I'm hoping for them. It's just you just never know. I mean, I did put the old needle and seat back in there, or needle and float back in there. So you really just don't know, but we might be okay. I'm pretty sure that was the amount of fuel that was in that engine was because it sat the entire summer with that fuel in it. Best to store these things dry. Run them out of fuel when you store them. Not stabilizer. Run them out of fuel. Drain out or siphon out or do whatever you're going to do to get most of it out. And then just run the engine until it will not run anymore. Did you guys get everything buttoned up here? I think so. Screen. There's 2 nuts. Yep. And this goes under and over the studs, wherever the studs went. Where's the studs? Here they are. 2 more nuts. Almost ready to start it. Put my guitar string away so I don't lose it. There we go. I have lost them in the past. Tuck that in there. Tuck that in there. Let's get these little guys back on there. I think these were 8mm. Big one here. Long one anyway. And then 2 short guys on the side. Oh, you guys just about ready? I'm just about ready. We want to check the spark plug. We'll pop this choke off. I don't think we need to. It's got a champion in it. Well, let's see what happens. That's the kill key. High security key. Let's get the fuel cap on there. Choke is on. There is no on-off switch as far as I know. It's just that key. So when you want to shut the engine off, looks like you just pop that in. Yep, exactly what it is right there. It says right on the picture. No electric start either. Is there room? Nope. I could probably pull. Yeah, 1, 2, says 2, choke, key, ready? First pull. First pull. Second drive. Not the auger. Couldn't even tell it was so quiet. That's the kill switch. Look at that. Fired up, first pull. And the cord didn't even break off. Okay. I'm going to move some stuff. I'm going to check underneath here, and we're just going to eyeball what's going on underneath there. There's no reverse on this machine. There's no gears. It's just neutral or go. Neutral or giver. That's all there is. So we're going to slide it, lift it. I'm going to pull the belly pan off, make sure everything is good underneath there. There is a friction wheel underneath there, I believe. I don't remember. And we'll see what happens. See what's going on under there. All right, let's have a quick look-see under here. I think these should be 3/8. There's 4 of them. Yep, 3/8. 3. Yep. No friction wheel. Plastic transmission, single speed. Forward speed. That is all. Gear's in nice shape. Put some oil on that. This is the auger belt that we can see the back of it anyways. Not a single crack in it. Tiny little drive belt. Not a single crack in it. It's in wonderful shape. Everything underneath here is like brand new. Okay. So I'm going to put a little bit of oil on this gear. I'm going to shoot a little bit of spray lube into the bushings, the axle bushings. And he sees this, put the belly pan on, and wheels. All right, guys, let's put this one to bed. She's done. Runs great, actually. Runs pretty good. Fresh gas, clean the carb a little bit, get the old crap out of it, just general check over, and yeah, up and running. Thanks for joining me, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you do subscribe, give that little bell a shake. It'll let you know when I upload new stuff. Until the next one, take care.